Hello, welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. Hope you had a great weekend. So, I'm going over an article today on the Wall Street Journal about how eBay is making a play to try and get back into the top two, top three reselling sites. They have been booted out of the top three for the most part by Walmart. And when you dig into eBay's plan to try and bring itself back, I just don't think it's a very great plan, in my opinion. There are some changes I've noticed on eBay that I do like, but they tend to believe that AI is going to save their bacon. And I just don't think it is. I think AI is kind of a fad personally, and I think a lot of people are getting irritated with it. I mean, for me, to be quite honest, I'd probably like to make AI illegal for the most part. But hey, that's just me. I'm an old timer, you know. Grew up in the 80s and 90s for the most part. But we're going to look at some numbers here before we start. And we're going to look at website traffic, all right? Because if you're reselling and you're not getting as many sales as you used to, well, there's a lot of reasons for it, in my opinion. The main being that there is just an endless amount of competition out there currently. So we're going to go over some of the competitors that, in my opinion, are starting to beat eBay. So to start off with, we're going to check out Walmart site. Okay, the thing about Walmart is they do have two sites. So the first site I'm going to check for clicks, basically, or viewer counts, is their marketplace site. eBay gets about 170 million clicks, whereas Marketplace at this point in time is getting 270,348,285 clicks. Marketplace is really doing good. And I can understand, why eBay is starting to slip. Okay. So now we're going to check out another one of their competitors that is, beating eBay. Okay, so this is Apple Marketplace Buy and Sell. And this is linked to their apps site. So this is one of the sites that's beating eBay. And this has 1,596,810,385 clicks per month. Okay. I will go ahead and do eBay. Why not? eBay's view counts, and this is for the month of August. We've gone over these other sites, 174,211,427. Okay. And then last one that we'll check, we'll just check out Whatnot. I mean, there is so much competition, so I'll check out Whatnot. I mean, Whatnot, they're fairly new. I mean, they don't get as much traffic as eBay, but they are comparable. I mean, 1,010,281 clicks for August. That's not bad. Is all the competition just draining eBay? And is eBay fighting back in a proper way, in my opinion? Because here's the thing is eBay has had many, many years to dominate, online selling. And like it gets into this article from Wall Street Journal, inside eBay's quest to become an AI leader, how the 30-year-old e-commerce giant is going all in on artificial intelligence, hoping that technology can help it update its image and beat mounting competition. I mean, they're getting, so many fewer clicks than, say, the Walmart marketplace at this point in time. I mean, we saw that. Walmart had 270 million, so 100 million more clicks in August than eBay. And like it says here, now this was written by Bell Lynn. And this was written on September 5th, 2025, just a few days ago. All right, so it says here, eBay, a survivor of the first generation of internet companies, is trying to remake itself for the age of artificial intelligence. And I just think that they're losing their minds to an extent here. I mean, the AI is great for, certain things on the website, but I've heard things about the AI at eBay to where it just will cancel sellers out, and there isn't really any recourse. So like it says here, in 2020, eBay lost its second place standing among America's largest online retailers to Walmart, according to eMarketer, is now fourth behind Apple. And I only went over the Walmart marketplace, because that's where I would go to try and resell. I know they're getting choosier on who they allow to resell. So that's something to consider as well, But either way, they're dominating even the reselling market. And they have their new just plain Walmart website as well, which I didn't even run those numbers. I'm sure, you add those together and it just beats up on poor eBay. Is Jamie Iannone the right CEO of eBay? Ask yourself that, because when you look at the amount of clicks in August, man, I mean, if you're someone that's going all in on eBay and you're listing thousands and thousands of stuff, you're paying a lot of money to eBay every month to do it, is it worth it? That's just it. Like it says here, if eBay were in a race, we were maybe trailing, said Mason Rawashta, eBay's chief technology officer. The AI era reset the clock for us, but did it? Because, if we're looking at clicks here, come on, eBay. I mean, you're going to have to try harder. And then here we have the company last year announced that it had built a supercomputer using its own hardware that enabled eBay to build and run models about 100 times as large as the year before, according to the company. Hey, that's great. But the thing is this reliance upon AI to bring in more clicks, do they honestly believe that's going to do it? I just don't think it is. Now, eBay may not be getting as many clicks due to the fact that they sell more, secondhand, used goods, collectibles, whatever, And you can go to the Walmart marketplace and, they want people typically to have a brand, whatever. Amazon, which is getting, 1 billion, almost 2 billion clicks per month. I went over that one in the last one I did about a week ago. And then, of course, you have Facebook Marketplace. And you have a lot of people on YouTube, whatever, will say, well, sell on Facebook Marketplace, sell on eBay. When they probably should be telling you sell on Amazon, sell on Walmart. But you have to really step up your game to get on those sites for the most part. But they're still getting more clicks per month than eBay, which is currently in the number 4th position, who had all this time, to dominate the marketplace. So I keep asking myself, what is eBay missing? one thing I believe that would help eBay would be is if they had more listings, to an extent. If you're just a normal seller that doesn't purchase, selling slots, you're always limited to 250 slots per month. How many people are doing that? If you're selling, some new replenishable goods, hey, that works for you. If you're selling used goods, it's pretty limited for the most part, that 250 slots. But would it bring in more views? I believe it would. If people, maybe move the 250 up to 350, 400, something like that, that might bring in more clicks. I went over some of their best competitors at this point. I mean, how long before Whatnot is getting more views than eBay? I mean, they're already getting, just over 1 million views, per month, at least the last month. And they're fairly new to the market. Amazon has Prime. I've always considered, what would happen to eBay if they set something up for buyers that was similar to Prime. It doesn't have to copy it, perfectly. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get sued, of course. I don't want eBay to get sued. But something that could compete with Prime would really work. And I've always felt that eBay needs to really rebrand themselves, maybe change their name, something. eBay has changed, they have live eBay reselling for collectibles, whatever, But Amazon doesn't have that. They don't need it. Walmart doesn't really have that. They don't need it. And they're still dominating eBay. In my opinion, you have to change this guy. This guy's, he's brought some good changes. But we need more clicks every month. If you're a reseller on eBay, these numbers I've gone over, they are atrociously bad for the most part, I mean, eBay has just become another reselling site out of a ton of reselling sites, So how do you feel about this stuff with eBay? Do you believe they're putting too much faith in AI like I do? Do you think they need to kind of wake up and look at their competition and maybe it's not pushing into live shows. Maybe it's pushing more into brand marketing, like Amazon. And then you'd have to create a lot of perks to go along with it. And I just don't see eBay doing that. It'd be nice if eBay had a channel like the Prime Network channel. They're entertaining people. It'd be nice if eBay had something that was similar to Prime for buyers, so buyers can go into something and they're not always stuck, paying for shipping, like say on the stuff I sell, I don't do any free shipping on eBay. I learned my lesson. But, if there was something like Prime, it would help cover my costs and this and that. I just feel like eBay just really doesn't want to step up their game at the end of the day. They don't want to push into selling brand new brands. They don't seem to want to push into very similar competitive routes of shipping, say with Amazon Prime or even Walmart Marketplace. They just want to sit there and, in my opinion, cater to the stock market over their true bread and butter way of making money. So they'll sit and, we're using AI and hopefully the investors are flocking, to purchase the stock. But let's face it, if the investors aren't going over viewer counts, I don't know what they are doing at all. Anyway, if you have a different opinion on this, leave some comments. I always like to thank my subscribers, my subscriber base. And if you're a viewer, if you haven't subscribed, it's 100% free. Just click the button. Anyway, I hope you tune again for the next episode of Mountain Jim Card Collectibles. I'm out of here. Bye.